Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was expected to formalize his defection to the African Democratic Congress ADC last Wednesday. However, he has reportedly postponed this move indefinitely. His seeming cold feet is allegedly linked to talks of former President Goodluck Jonathan reportedly being courted by the ADC for 2027 presidential elections. Party insiders have also disclosed alleged growing friction between Atiku and former Labour Party candidate Peter Obi, with allegations that Obis movement has gained control of ADC structures. Without further ado, we do have political analyst and, of course, one who has followed this story closely. Mr. Jide Johnson joins us live in the studio. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Great to have you all over.
Yeah, great.
All over the world. Thank you.
I know you've been following the ADC, the coalition, the movement, and so on. And then there is the emergence of a former president, all of a sudden talking tough within the sphere.
Talks of him.
Yes.
And no official statements has come out.
Yeah, but I mean, he's put out some posts that are seemingly, cringy and questionable, where he's saying it's time, the transformer, picture images and all. But let's leave all the drama. The question is, what's your take on the ADC and the developments that are starting to unfold?
First, there's no fire without smoke, and there's no smoke without fire. So don't rule out those possibilities. They test the waters. The official statement will come out later to indicate whether he's running or he's not running. But the fact is, there's an indication to that effect. As far as the ADC coalition is concerned, you could see that it's been bedeviled with normal crisis that marks the beginning of any political party or any new idea you want to come up with in terms of different people with different ideology, with different interests coming together to form a coalition to compete with the APC. Situate that with what happened with the APC in 2013, 2014, when the coalition of the five legacy parties came together. People had to sacrifice and bury their presidential ambition and their personal interests for it to make it to work. However, how do you reconcile Atiku's perennial interest in the presidency? How do you reconcile that with Obis' popularity, particularly with the younger generation who thinks and feels that it's their time and it's their turn for them to decide the fate of this country, and the time of the old generation politician is gone. So resolving that conflict and who takes control of that, and the pushback also from the parties' leadership, some of the party, the previous leadership of the party in ADC, particularly at the state level, with some of them pushing back that newcomers are coming to hijack their party structure. As a result of that, the coast is not really still clear within the ADC fold. And as far as Atiku is concerned, that's my reading. Now, the PDP platform is still within his control and within his grasp. And if he leaves that stage open, if Obi should go back to PDP or Jonathan should go back to PDP, that portends danger. And that's why I think that he's not picked up the nomination, the membership of the ADC.
Okay, you've said about Jonathan that there is no smoke without fire, no fire without smoke, and that we should expect maybe an official announcement sooner than later. But if you recall, in May 2025, earlier in the year, former President Goodluck Jonathan's wife, Patience Jonathan, whilst receiving an award, had said that she's throwing her support behind the First Lady, Remi Tinubu, talking about how if she were to run for office, or when President Tinubu is running, they will throw their support, because when she was the deputy governor's wife, she got the support from her. When she became the governor of Bayosa's wife, she got support from her. And when they ran for presidency, she got the support from Remi Tinubu and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So she believes in rotational presidency and will throw her support behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Does that not put sort of an end to the rumor about the potential of President Goodluck Jonathan coming out?
In politics, they say 24 hours is too long. And don't forget that politicians are after their own enlightened self-interest. And in the interest, if the coast is clear that there's an opportunity for her husband to become the president again, why would she not take it? The husband is not foreclosed from
Maybe she's a woman of integrity.
Well, there's no integrity with the political class. Buhari wept in 2011, and he said he's not going to contest again. President Buhari is of blessed memory. He wept when he lost the election in 2011, and he said he was not going to contest again. Fast forward to 2015, they went and fishing out. saying that he has these 12 million votes in the bag, and the coalition felt that the only way they can win that election is for them to
use him as...
to use Buhari. He doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the money to win the presidential ticket of APC in 2015 in Mobalaji Bank, Teslim Balogun Stadium, where the APC primary was. If you look at the gladiators that contested there, they had more watchers. Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwaso, this was the former governor that used to beat statue. Those are the people. Okorocha. They were the ones that contested that election with him, but Buhari won against all odds. And so the same thing might be applicable to Jonathan. At the beginning of this particular dispensation, when President Tinubu emerged as the president, I said the only person that can actually give him a tough time and a good run for his money if you come out to contest the election is Jonathan.
Why? What changed?
Now, what political capital does former President Jonathan have?
Well, if you put side by side the 8 years of Buhari's administration, the APC administration, side by side with Jonathan's administration, if you look at the level of clearance and the level of tolerance of criticism of opposition and the rest of you, and then what Jonathan has done outside of office, the way he's been able to maintain himself, his candor, he's not been just a national statesman, he's become an international statesman, promoting peace and the rest of it. And so that's a factor.
It doesn't necessarily transform to votes, but let's...
No, if you want me to provide you the electoral map to that effect, we'll provide it for you. One of the advantages that goes for Jonathan is that he's only coming for a second term. And it plays into the hands of whichever political elites are you going to go. The North is going to play a dominant factor in who becomes the president in 2027.
Has the North decided?
No, that's what I'm just saying that, well, you can look at it. Look, if the election is between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Goodluck Jonathan, just the two of them, it's going to be a tough run. It's not going to be a home run. It's going to be a tough run. However, regardless of whoever is presented by the opposition, if there are more than one candidate, if there's more than one candidate from the opposition, the cost is clear. It pays the incumbent where you have
fractured opposition.
Where you have fractured opposition.
That brings me to this question. The person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has been contesting elections since the early 90s. He's been vice president for 8 years. He's consistently played the role of a spoiler. If he wasn't in the last elections, if he didn't contest in the last elections, the picture might have been different. He decided to contest even after the North had produced a president that ruled for 8 years. And he seems to still be nursing serious presidential ambitions. What do you think his end game is? Is he contesting for the love he has for Nigeria? Does he love Nigeria so much that that presidency is a lifetime ambition? And will he be playing the role of a spoiler if he does get the ticket of one of the political parties?
Don't forget, he has the right, it's a civic responsibility to contest the election, to seek for election and to contest an election. So it's a civic right. But however, if you, from the analysis you provided, Atiku have emerged as the SDP presidential candidate in 1992 during the Just primary. He came second.
Tofa.
Himself, Baba Gana Kinjigbe, and Abiola came first, second, third.
Yes.
There has to be a runoff. Now, if there had been that runoff, there's every likelihood that he might have emerged as, or the runoff, then there will be a second runoff between himself and Baba Gana Kinjigbe. Abiola would have gotten the ticket because they needed the PFN support to win that ticket. But let's save that for the sake of time. Now, Atiku has, I said, a perennial presidential ambition. I can assure you there's nothing that is going to stop him from not contesting 2027 presidential. It's his childhood dream. It's part of his aspiration. I think one of the boxes that has not been ticked, and as long as that box is not ticked in his to-do list, he will continue to make an attempt and try.
Old too.
Well, look, when people talk about age for the political class, Chuck Grassley, how old is Chuck Grassley, the chairman of Senator Grassley, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee United of America? How old is Nancy Pelosi? How old is Donald Trump?
How old is Paul Biya?
So you can go on and talk about about those people. As long as you still have life, you still have hope. But as far as I'm concerned, if the opposition really wants to make an inroad in ensuring that they wrest power, because politics is about wresting power, it's about contesting election and winning the election to control the levers of government. If that's their interest, then what will be good for the opposition is for them to have one united front. If there is a divided front, I can assure you, it's a foregone conclusion for the president.
So it makes one wonder, what is this coalition they're talking of? Because they're saying it's coalition, but yet they still belong to their individual political parties. Take, for instance, Peter Obis is saying he supports the coalition, but he's remaining in Labour Party. You also have others who have said they are supporting the coalition, but they are looking to also remain in their own party. In your own understanding, I mean, just to dig deeper and possibly bring out a gold from a treasure chest, how would you say the coalition will work if the individuals want to remain in their own party and expect that they will form a coalition that would take away the current administration?
The coalition cannot work because every one of them is interested in becoming the president. Nobody is ready to sacrifice.
You saw Amechi this weekend, former governor.
Look, you see the way
they give him power, he would.
You see the way Amechi, for almost 1 year, Amechi kept quiet, and then
all of a sudden,
he started ventilating, and then he became so active that he started talking about what he would do with the president. As far as I'm concerned, it is about the enlightened self-interest that all of this. What's the ideology behind the coalition? It is most of the people in the coalition, they were in the previous government of Buhari's administration. Just like the APC administration that Buhari Super 10, majority of them were in the previous PDP administration, the 16 years of PDP that they used to talk about. Majority of the gladiators were there. So what's the difference? The political class don't have your interest or my interest at heart. It is their own, and they just want to control the levers of power. What's the difference between APC, ADC, and PDP? Look, the Senate president, which party has he belonged to from inception? So we can go on and on and on and name this character. There is no ideology behind the political parties in Nigeria. What they are interested in is in which party will my interest be best at, which party will give me the platform to contest the election. So they just want to contest the election. Okay, tell me, what is the manifesto, or what are the core principles or the core values of the ADC?
Well, they say that they are people focused and they're working from the ground up. We did have the ADC Lagos State chairman. I mean, I posed this question to you. It's all about the people, and they're working their way from the ground.
Also, the other parties are not about the people. What is it about the people? What are they going to do for the people? How are they going to translate their words into action? Now, you can have the strategy. The difference between success, strategy, and tactics is execution. What plan do they have? What are the problems they've highlighted in Nigeria that they want to solve? The APC had been in government for 10 years. PDP had been in government for 16 years. Okay, you want to come in. What are the fresh ideas? What are the ideas you are bringing on the table? Not to give us rhetorics. They are just going to make people work, people shaking hands.
So where does this leave the ordinary Nigerian that is not satisfied with the ruling party and then knows that these are political vultures and hawks that were part and parcel of this same government until the end of the Buhari administration? Because it seems it's the political class that is driving conversation and driving the political vehicles. It seems like, okay, if you mention Amechi and all these other people, that the president has to emerge from this. And there are Nigerians that say, look, you're all the part and parcel of the same problem. We don't want any one of you. So where does their hope lie? Must they vote for either one of this, Jonathan, Atiku, the current president, and Peter Obi? There are people that don't even want anything to do with all these people. Do they make the decisions for 250 million plus Nigerians?
But, before you respond to that, let's go on a very short break. And when we come back, we'll talk some more about this. And just to mention that virtual audience can also be a part of the conversation. We're streaming live on YouTube at News Central TV. Please drop your comments, thoughts, questions in the chat box, and we'll take them up. But now we're going to a very quick break. We'll be right back.
You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're currently looking at the twists and turns ahead of 2027, and we have Dr. Jide Johnson in the studio, a public affairs analyst. Before we went on that break, Dr. Johnson, we're looking at the current options that are available to Nigerians, because it seems the opposition is just old wine in a new bottle, and there's a cross-section of Nigerians that are dissatisfied with the political class and say, look, rather not vote than go for this people. Do we have any options? Do these Nigerians have, do you see the emergence of a third force away from this professional politicians? And also, the second leg of my question is, have we ever had it? You're someone that has followed Nigeria's democratic experience with keen interest. Have we ever had such an interest in politics that it's almost like 2026 is not a calendar year? People are thinking from 2025, we jump to 2027. Have we seen the campaigns and the talks come so early? And is it a good thing for our democracy?
No, we have sacrificed governance for politicking. There's no doubt about that. What we have witnessed in the first 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration across the length and breadth of this country is sacrificing. Started talking about 2027 so early. It has never happened before in the first time of that's the high stake level with which 2027 portends for our polity. With respect to the political class, regardless of whoever wins the election in 2027, if we don't do basic restructuring, if we don't restructure our system, it will still be the same thing. What we spoke about 4 years ago is what we are speaking about now. What we spoke about 8 years ago is what we are speaking about now. What do I mean? You see, we need to ensure that power is not too centralized. We don't make the center. We make the center. The beauty of federalism is to make the center less attractive and make all the subnationals very, very much attractive. We need to look into a situation whereby we do local government reforms. Local government reforms in the sense that power at that level, people elect their representative. At this stage now, they write their names. They write the names of local government across the length and breadth. What if you add S to election? What do you have? Election. It's election. So what we are not having election. What we are having across board is election. So the democratic process has become selective process, and as a result of that, it has ostracized the main people who are the sovereign in democracy. So for us to really talk about having meaningful improvement, we must restructure. We must have a strong party system. You see, I tell you this: who are the national chairman of the three parties that contested that came first, second, and third in the last presidential election? All those parties have been. Look, APC, for example, in the last 2 years, they've had 3 national chairmen. PDP in a state of comatose. Labour, cuts today, cuts tomorrow. Now, the foundation of partisan democracy is the party system, whereby you have the party system itself are not even democratic. There's no internal democracy within the party system. There's no structure. The party system are run as an appendage of either the presidency or the state governor, where the governor, we have an aberration in our political system, whereby the president is the leader of the party and the governor is the leader of somebody that was nominated by the chairman is now controlling the structure. So as long as we continue to have this system, it's a classic case of failure happening, and there's nothing we can do. We can change the personnel of government. Look, we have changed personnel of government in Nigeria. We have moved from Obasanjo to Yar'Adua to Jonathan to Buhari to Tinubu now. We have changed from parties. We have moved from PDP to APC. Has there been any meaningful difference in terms of the experiences of an average Nigerian with the experiences with the rules of governance? No, there's not. It's still business as usual, because the basic structure that gives power to the people, the basic structure that gives people deliverables are not there. And so, come 2027, we politic into 2027, and whoever wins the election, we politic to 2030. 2030, we politic to 2032, and that's the way it's going to continue. Because the foundation of it, the foundation of this democratic experience is the 1999 Constitution, whether it's amended or not amended. That Constitution was put in place to perpetuate Abacha in power. There's too much power in the presidency in this present. Go and check it. Check it out. So it was the report of the 1995 Constituent Assembly that was put together by Justice Nikitobi.
Abdusalam, yeah.
Justice Nikitobi, established by Abdusalam, himself and other 13 wise men. Even Obasanjo, that was sworn as the first democratically elected president, did not have a clean copy of this constitution before he was sworn in. So until we go back to the foundation, I can tell whatever you build on a wrong foundation will be faulty. And the foundation of what we have, and that's why it's unfortunate that those that have clamored for restructuring in opposition, now they are in government, they are not even talking about it.
That's life. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Jide Johnson, for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
We look forward to have this conversation another time, most importantly as the development continues to unfold.